Oklahoma and Texas descending on the state fair for the 119th edition of the Red River Rivalry. James Jackson and Chip Brown here to break down the game. It's the first meeting between both teams being undefeated since 2011. And everyone likes to talk about shootouts and great quarterbacks here, but these are also the top two scoring defenses in the Big 12. The Horns looking for two in a row in the series after last year's historic 49-0 rout. Now, these teams tied for the conference lead right now. It's the last time this game will happen as members of the Big 12. So, James, what would a win for each team mean here?
Yeah, when you look at it from the Oklahoma side, I mean, you see what happened last year, the 49-0 win. There's a lot of, trying to get your respect back in this game. Oklahoma didn't have Dillon Gabriel last year, and it halted a lot of things of what they wanted to do. And that really changed things for them. But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things of just this season, looking at what Texas has done, OU needs that big win. They need a big win on their schedule if they want to pad their stats and try to get into the college football playoff game. And that's a big case. That's what it's going to come down to. Brent Venables, as a guy coming in as the head coach last year, he needs that big one on his schedule. I mean, he needs that big win to kind of solidify himself as a head coach as well. I mean, a lot of things are going for OU in this game. If they win this one, it could say a lot. And I know the talk of the national beat and everything like that is Texas back this year? Oklahoma kind of wants to know is their defense back this year? Because their defense, as you spoke about, has played very, very well so far this season. And can they do it against a top offense like what Texas has out there with Quinn Ewers and everything like that?
Well, for Texas, a win would continue their momentum. I mean, right now they are the number 3 team in the country. They have arguably the best win in college football this year with the win at Alabama. And amazingly, Texas has not won 2 in a row over Oklahoma since 08-09. That's how long Texas has been out of relevance in college football. But right now, the sign of a well-coached team is week-to-week improvement. And we're seeing that from Texas with the offense, the ability to run the ball. Quinn Ewers talking about having more fun. This Texas defense has just not let anyone up for air. Obviously, OU's defense is going to be the best defense they've faced. Dillon Gabriel, probably the best quarterback Texas has faced. But this is a mature, confident team that's been through a lot. They suffered a tough loss to OU a couple of years ago after having a 28-7 lead. And they took it out on the Sooners last year, and I think they're looking to build on that this year.
Well, you both have mentioned this revamped Sooners defense. It's one of 2 teams in the FBS to still have not allowed a rush touchdown yet this year. So, Chip, what does Quinn Ewers need to do to find success?
Well, I think he's starting to have fun, and that's important for him. He seems to like the big stage. He was fantastic in this game a year ago, threw for 4 touchdowns, coming off an injury, and looked like he was having a blast in the Cotton Bowl. And then he followed that up with the win at Alabama, 24 of 38 passing, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, hitting the deep balls to Xavier Worthy and Adonai Mitchell. He just needs to relax and enjoy himself and rely on the Texas running game led by Jonathan Brooks. So when he has balance, it just makes the defense have to spread the field and defend that much more.
Right, Chip. And when you look at it from the Oklahoma side of what Dillon Gabriel has to do in this game, I mean, he's played the best of his career so far this season. He's been on a tear on the offensive side. And when you look at what the Texas defense brings, and we know about the strengths, their defensive line is a very big strength for them. And OU has had some spotty situations with the offensive line. Now, the offensive line has only given up 4 sacks this year, but when you go against Texas, that's going to be a big key. So one of the big keys for Dillon Gabriel is just staying clean. Can that offensive line keep him together and keep him upright and not have to deal with pressure in his face? Because as of right now, he's been on a tear. He's, like I said, he's been on one of the best, best he's been throughout his career. And so without a run game that Oklahoma doesn't have and things like that, Dillon Gabriel has to be the guy to win this game on the offense. So it's a very big key for him to be upright and stay clean and stay in the pocket and be poised. I mean, he's an all-around quarterback that's done it a long time. just hope that he can do that again for OU this year if he just stays up and stays right.
All right, let's talk about our X factors or players to watch. Chip, last week you picked Jonathan Brooks, and you're going back to him this week. Why is that?
Because I was right. Because he lit it up against Kansas. I mean, this guy is on fire. The last 3 games, 59 carries, 487 yards. He's now the nation's number 3 rusher. Last week, he had over 200 yards rushing against Kansas. I mean, he is feeling it. This offensive line is feeling it. They're getting into a groove, and he can catch the football. And Jonathan Brooks did not even start the season as the starting running back, but he has sure made the case for it now. And you can see his confidence growing by the second. And he had a touchdown in this game against Oklahoma a year ago. I think that he is he's definitely the X factor. He's the running game that Oklahoma doesn't have right now.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. He's been a guy that Brendan Venables talked about in his presser. He's one of the guys that they're keying on, and it shows you that's a very good pick, Chip. That's good. I mean, you look at what Jonathan Brooks has done this season, it's really good. But for the OU side, I think it's going to be 5-star safety Payton Bowen and what he can do in this game. I mean, you look at Bowen this year, he's already have 2 punt blocks in his career, and he's only been out there a few games. He's a guy that's been a playmaker for this Sooners team when they absolutely need it. Now, in this game, you're expecting Dylan Gabriel, you're expecting Dennis Stutzman, you're expecting Woody Washington. All those key guys, they have to have big games they want to win. But for a guy that just comes out of nowhere, I think it's Payton Bowen in this one because of the type of player that he is and the type of plays that he can make for this defense. It's going to take a lot to stop the receiver scores for Texas, with Worthy and Mitchell and those guys out there. And so I think Payton Bowen's going to have to be the guy to step up and make that play. And so far in the opportunities that he's been given, he's shown that he can do that.
All right, James Jackson and Chip Brown, thanks so much for your insights today. And for more game coverage, be sure to check out Horns 24/7 and Sooners Illustrated. They're keeping you up to date on Texas and Oklahoma football and recruiting news all season long.